So this game I'm holding right here is Mario Kart 64. I don't exactly remember the story of me getting this game. It might have just came with the N64 I got like a decade ago. I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself a ton here, but just like my Kirby Superstar video, I will be skipping over some of the really small and insignificant stuff. Also, the information on this video was provided by the cutting room floor. Link for that in the description for more info. I really need to think of a better way to shorten that for future videos. Yeah, I don't know, shout out to TCRF. Let's start off with the cut content. If you were paying attention to Nintendo stuff back in July, you'd know a ton of internal data owned by Nintendo was leaked to the public. This was caused by a server breach which happened earlier in 2018. A ton of assets were leaked from games like Pokemon Gold and Silver and Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. The leak that happened in July included part of Mario Kart 64's source code. Let's take a look at some never before seen assets. An interview in 1996 reveals that 2 courses were cut during the development of the game. The first was a multi-story parking garage-like structure, but it was scrapped because the constant turning made players feel sick. The second was a big city track with a bunch of buildings, a castle, and a pond. However, it was a very large map, and the reason for it being scrapped was it took too much time to race through. Not a ton of info exists currently on the parking garage map, but we have some info on the city. Town_PK. Here's a GIF showing the path that racers took. Here's a render of the start and finish line, a render of a cafe and church, a render showing more buildings, a render showing a tunnel, yet another render of the tunnel, a render showing farmlands, and lastly, a render showing a restaurant. A minimap for this stage was also found in the files. The information on the garage is very minimal. Here are some of the textures for it. That's it. Another minimap is in the file depicting an unknown track. It seems to resemble Mario Raceway or Royal Raceway. Multiple scrapped items were also found within the files. A Yoshi egg, a set of 6 marbles, an old design for singular mushrooms, and an old design for triple mushrooms, a cape feather which is also from Super Mario Kart, and lastly, a weight. The egg would later go on to appear as an item in Mario Kart Double Dash and the cape feather in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Some unused textures from this leak, yeah. Welcome, exit. Welcome exit. An early design of the Yoshi billboard. An early KOOPA Air billboard that says Goodyear. This was changed to avoid legal trouble with Goodyear. An early shot billboard that said Shell. And for whatever reason, the S was reversed. Result00.sgi is an early screenshot showing some of the old sprites. Kamek is also present in here. I'll get to him later. And there's also an early version of the item box. This screenshot was also likely taken before this screenshot. An unused title screen logo exists for the iQ version. Originally, it was called Mario Kart iQ rather than simply Mario Kart. That's all for the unused content from the July leak, but there's still more pre-release stuff which has been public for a while. Shoshinkai November 1996. At this software exhibition, a prototype Mario Kart 64 build was shown off under the name Super Mario Kart R. The title screen looked a lot different. There's actually a 2-minute 35-second video of this, which I will link in the description. I'll play a little bit of it now. Remember how I mentioned Kamek? Yeah, he was supposed to be a playable character, but was replaced with Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's fine, I guess. It actually could just be some random magic Koopa for all we know, but it makes the most sense to call him Kamek. The title screen music was a lot different than the title screen music from the final game, but it was likely just a placeholder to show off at the demo.
Welcome to Mario Kart!
Title screen. The logo used to have a registered icon rather than a trademark. Interesting. There are a bunch of small differences in these screenshots. The 64 sign was moved, the Luigi sign was added, the KOOPA Air sign was added to the barriers also look a bit different and lack item boxes, and Double Mario. A gate was added to Moo Moo Farm, and the skybox was changed from the evening to day. In the Calamari Desert, railway crossing signs have been added. Smoke emission from the train was also added. In Frap Snowland, a winter-themed bomb was removed. Also, in this screenshot, it appears that the multiplayer HUD is different. In the final version, it was mirrored. Y is 2 at the top left. In Bowser's Castle, the second room was going to have 4 thwomps in front of the archway at some stage in the game. In the final game, however, the amount only varies between 1 and 3 depending on the difficulty chosen by the player. In Banshee Boardwalk, the welcome sign was moved further down. Beams with lanterns were also added at various points throughout the boardwalk. During battle mode, text saying battle mode was present in the middle of the screen for seemingly the entirety of the match. I know it's in Japanese, but that's what it translates to. Imagine if they kept that, that'd be seriously annoying. Also, the item icon positions were different. Cool. I'll link another video in the description which shows some of the early footage the screenshots were taken from. I'm gonna go over this debug code stuff pretty fast because it's a bit boring, but yeah, this game also had a debug mode, and this is what the menu looked like. Pause if you need to. Here are the codes to access it. Here are the controls for it, and here's the level select. There's also some codes that can be used while the debug mode is enabled. These codes show which master display list is currently in use. These codes show bars at the bottom measuring CPU usage. And these codes activate a frame-by-frame advanced mode. Vertical split-screen multiplayer was going to be in the game but was scrapped. However, with the debug mode on, it can be accessed by using one of the following codes. If the game crashes while in debug mode, pressing L up, left, down, right, R, L, B, A will display some information about the cause of the crash. How are you supposed to remember that? Some more unused graphics, ready? 2 Japanese graphics which translate to without item and with item. A bomb warning icon that shows when you're close to the moving bombs. An early version of the traffic light. 4 player HUDs fitting multiplayer modes. While these Monty Mole sprites are used, it is impossible to see the bottom half of them during normal gameplay. Here's another graphic which was used but the bottom cannot be seen normally. Lastly, some unused position numbers. Underneath the big donut arena are these 2 seemingly misplaced item boxes. They can be seen by getting the camera behind the green bars and waiting, and eventually they'll float up into view. A bunch of debugging text. Now, it's time to go over the version differences. So first off, a ridiculous amount of audio was changed from the Japanese version. If I played them all, we'd be here all day. I'll give you a little sample though. Here's the title screen.
Welcome to Mario Kart!
The billboards in the Japanese version were all parodies of real-life companies. I think you can figure out why this stuff was changed. Legal trouble is very fun. A parody of Marlboro cigarettes. Louis Gip, a parody of Agip, is that how you say it? Yoshi, a parody of Mobile. The one that never even made it into the Japanese version was the Goodyear parody sign, but they still look different throughout the releases. The Nintendo billboard is colored blue in Japan for whatever reason, and the 64 Ball & Luigi's Raceway also looks completely different. None of the track preview icons were updated though, so the orange ball can still be seen on the track preview icon in the international versions. Also, the Louis Gip and Yoshi billboards can still be seen on the icon for Mario Raceway, and the Yoshi billboard and the icon for Royal Raceway. Moo Moo Farm is called Momo Farm in Japan because stuff is pronounced differently in Japanese. In the trophy ceremony in the Japanese version, the text says you are in blank position. On the international versions, it's changed to you placed blank. The punctuation is also removed and the position itself is now blue. The course goes text is different throughout the Japanese and international releases. The course names are also all different. Here they are. In the Japanese version, if you complete the special cup on 150cc, it will display a Japanese language version of the credits. This was removed for obvious reasons. Also, the Japanese version lists 6 voice actors while the English only has 3. Additionally, Charles Martinet, Thomas Spindler, and John Houlihan all have their names misspelled. Nintendo, how do you misspell 3 names in the credits? How? Just like in Mario 64, the Wii Virtual Console versions all look dark and ugly, but besides this, the color scheme for the train in Calamari Desert was changed, the waterfall on Koopa Troopa Beach is a brighter blue instead of gray. I mean, the fact that it's on Wii Virtual Console doesn't help much with that. The characters/numbers of the timer are spaced out by one singular pixel, and the flash that occurs while using lightning was toned down to avoid risk of seizures. They also did a similar thing for the flashy stuff in the Kirby Superstar re-releases. On the iQue version, as mentioned earlier, it used to be called Mario Kart iQue, but in the final game it's simply called Mario Kart. Translated, of course. The special cup was renamed iQue Cup for whatever reason. The 64 ball, get this, is simply covered up by using a square. That looks horrible, but they tried their best removing all N64 references, I guess. I personally don't think their best is enough though. The shot billboard says iQue. They really love shoving in the fact that you're playing an iQue. An audio glitch occurs when entering a race, going back into the main menu, going into the data screen, and then backing out to the main menu once again. It causes the menu music to play in a slow, low-pitched tone. Lastly, all the billboards have been translated. Boom, there you have it, the cut content and version differences of this game, Mario Kart 64. So what'd you think? Did you enjoy this video? I hope you did. If you want to see more like this or videos on particular games, let me know in the comments below and I'll check them out. I know I forgot to properly say thanks for 1,000 subs, but seriously, thanks a ton. We are currently at 1,290, so I know I'm a bit late, but still, thank you. That's gonna wrap it up for this one. This has been Kaons, the epic gamer, bro. Peace out, bro. That was horrible. I'm never doing that ever again.